Hello, everyone. My name's Lisa. Recently, I've experienced a double betrayal. The people who were close to me deceived me. But before we move on with the story, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button not to miss new videos. Okay, here we go. Anyway, it all started in quite a trivial way. It's all about me, my mom, and my boyfriend. Somehow, they didn't like each other at all from the very first day they met. Honestly, it was my mom who started everything. Well, she knows how to be, let's say, unpleasant. If she doesn't like someone, just imagine. I'm a beautiful girl in love who brings her boyfriend home to introduce him to my mom. And my mom starts nagging him right from the doorway. At dinner, she discusses his appearance, his parents' salary. I mean, she asked him sort of questions like, does your father work at a factory? What does he do there? Carry boxes? My God, what a shame. Then she made some awful grimaces. She was not tactful at all. And she also discussed some topics people normally don't discuss when they meet for the first time. I wasn't surprised at all when Victor, my boyfriend, declared he would never come to my home again after such a disgrace. Well, at least while Mom's there. Anyway, sometimes he came through the window in my room. But hush, that's a secret. Since then, their hatred had been just blossoming day after day. Well, my mom even forbade me to see him. She told me how terrible he was, and that he had no prospects for a good future, and stuff like that. As for Victor, if one of his friends mentioned my mom in conversation, or if I remembered about her myself, he would always grimace and call her an old hag or a nutcase. Well, I didn't like it, of course, but I could understand Victor. My mom was the first one to insult him and start this conflict. Somehow, we lived like that. All right, it's not kinda happily ever after. I had to listen to some nasty things about both of them from each other, but mostly life went on peacefully. At least, they weren't fighting and yelling, and my mom couldn't prevent me from seeing Vic. I'm an adult anyway. Until one day, I came home from school early. Too early, I guess. I will never forget what I saw at home. I'm serious. No, it didn't happen right from the doorway. At first, I just heard some suspicious noises from my mom's bedroom. Well, like 18 plus, if you know what I mean. I giggled and tried to be quiet. After all, you see, my mom's kinda old for this hot stuff. She's 48, but she has the right to have her personal life. But I couldn't guess a shock content was waiting for me upstairs. The door to my mom's bedroom was open and, oh my God, I wish I had never seen that. I'm young and I didn't want to break my sensitive and fragile heart, but apparently at some point, my mom started to, getting close, if you know what I mean. So she was giving out any sounds of pleasure she was capable of, and once she loudly moaned the name of her partner, Victor. I was so freaking shocked. Somehow, I looked at my mom's huge bed. The funny thing was that I had no idea in my head this was my Victor, but it turned out it was my Victor. I recognized his stupid hairstyle and the scar between his shoulder blades. He fell from a bike when he was a kid. I would have recognized this scar from millions of others. I saw it with my eyes, but my brain refused to believe me. It turned out the two people who were closest to me betrayed me. How come? They hated each other. Hated. How come? Finally, my mom noticed me standing in the doorway and immediately acted out offended innocence. She tried to cover up with a blanket, and she covered Victor. She threw a blanket over his head. It all looked so stupid. I locked myself in my room, and I didn't plan to leave for eternity. I didn't want to see my mom. I didn't want to talk to either of them. Just in case, I blocked them both on my phone and in social media. I was just sitting on my bed looking somewhere in the corner. I couldn't even cry because I couldn't believe they could have done this to me. But I couldn't hide for a long time. No matter how painful and bad it was for me, I still had to study at school. Yeah, and I wanted to eat, by the way, and do some other necessary things. Well, you got me. So I decided hiding was not an option. I took another tactic, ignoring. Mom tried to talk to me, but I pretended she didn't exist. Victor tried too, but it was even easier there. It was enough just not to slow down in the school hallway and quickly go home after classes. I never crossed paths with him anywhere else. The funny thing, if you can call it funny, was that I still couldn't help myself, and I asked my mom at breakfast why she did such a thing. Because this means she didn't love me, right? You know what my mom said? That it was my fault. My fault. I praised Victor so much she just couldn't resist, and Victor didn't mind doing it with her, so we talked. Then I could only watch how Victor was trying to catch me at school. In the evenings, my mom was going on dates with him. It's quite clear I was an obtuse angle in this beautiful triangle, but I didn't understand. What does Victor want from me? Then I decided I should talk to him. After all, he's going to be my stepfather. God, it sounds so stupid. We need to learn to communicate somehow, at least without curses, insults, and hysteria. Anyway, I talked to my mom, although I think it would have been better to keep silent in this case. About a week after that epic meeting in my mom's bedroom of the two loving hearts, I arranged a meeting with Victor after school at our favorite place in the park. And here, I was stabbed in the back again. Instead of apologizing or kind of greeting me at least and asking how I was doing, Victor started bullying me. He said I did a terrible thing to him. Like, if I wanted to break up, I could tell him about it to his face instead of hiding and running away. Excuse me? What? Honestly, the first impulse I had was to punch him in the face, a little, with my foot maybe. Then I yelled, "How about cheating on me? How about the fact he could have also have chosen someone, at least younger, for his sexual experiments if he couldn't wait that long, if waiting wasn't an option for him?" Anyway, I said everything that hurt me. I was about to leave when I heard something that really made me feel sick. Victor said he never slept with my mom. Moreover, that day he actually went straight to football practice after school. A lot of people saw him there, including the coach and the team. They all could confirm his alibi. As for Victor, he said he didn't know how to split. He didn't have a twin, and he didn't have that Tyler Durden thing or something. It turned out my mom lied to me, but why? How come? I was at a loss for words again. Victor said my mom had come up with a great plan to break us up. She seemed to have succeeded. Since my brain totally collapsed, I couldn't even connect two things together. Victor and I studied in the same class. I mean, if he wanted to, he couldn't come to my house before me in any way. He had practice. I felt like an idiot. For the second time in a week. These statistics looked disgusting. I couldn't understand what to do now. I didn't understand anything. Who should I believe? On the one hand is my mom. Why would she want to hurt me? On the other hand, my common sense. Because no matter how much I wanted to blame Victor for everything, he was right. He couldn't be in two places at the same time. And I decided to do the most logical thing I could do at that moment. I decided to follow my mom. She was going somewhere every evening. Maybe I would find the answer there. It turned out it wasn't difficult at all. My mom didn't expect someone would follow her. She was just going her way, wearing her favorite heels and a beautiful dress. She left the house and got into a taxi. I waited for a couple of minutes and followed on my bike. I don't know what I would have done if my mom's taxi had left for the city, but the taxi just turned the corner and stopped near a coffee shop. I dove into the bushes like a spy and watched my mom go into a cafe and sit there. She was sipping coffee all alone and looking at the clock from time to time. Then she called a taxi to go back. That's when something clicked in my head. I jumped out in front of the car and I started yelling at my mom at the top of my lungs. What the heck? So she didn't go on any dates? Why? Mom didn't deny it. Actually, she looked, I don't know, guilty. She offered to talk like two adults without shouting at each other. Honestly, by that time, all the lies and stupid situations in my head started growing bigger. I felt like I was a balloon or something. I refused to talk to my mom. I wanted to escape. I was about to get away on my bike, but my mom suddenly grabbed my hand and shoved her phone right in my face. Well, it was a photo gallery. To be exact, it was Victor there, with some girls in an embrace, with different girls. I counted 3. I just froze. I was in complete shock. My mom looked sad and she lowered her eyes. No matter how strange it seemed, it was all quite banal. That's why my mom disliked Victor at once. One of the girls in the photo was a daughter of my mom's colleague. My mom often saw them together. Another young girl at her office once showed her a photo with a boyfriend. Guess who was there? You're right. At first, she thought everything wasn't serious with us, like we were kind of friends or something. That's why my mom didn't limit herself in expressions when they first met at our house. She thought such negativity from her would be enough to scare me away from him. But then, when I finally fell in love, my mom decided to act in a radical way. She hired an actor who looked like Victor to make me believe he was cheating on me. She was even ready to make me hate her for the sake of protection. This was ridiculous. It all sounded so ridiculous. And that's why I believed my mom. Besides, she was connected to all the girls Victor was dating. We met together, we talked, and we decided together he was a bastard. Of course, we all broke up with him. I reconciled with my mom. Well, not immediately, of course. But once again, I understood she always wanted only the best for me, no matter how strange it might look. However, we still had to talk again. I asked her not to make such performances anymore. I said she better tell me the truth right away, no matter how terrible it was, because it's easier to do that way instead of turning my life into a circus. Text your opinion about the story in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and share your ridiculous stories with us. We'd love to read them. See you later, guys. Bye.